Stand strong, bear fruit. Psalm 1's secret to unshakable life. The righteous path. Psalm 1's secret for modern life. Psalm 1's secret has guided seekers of wisdom for centuries, offering timeless principles for making right decisions. Each of us faces daily choices about which path to follow in life. The ancient wisdom from the first chapter of the Book of Psalms, Tehillim, offers surprisingly relevant guidance for achieving true well-being. Let's explore together the deep meaning of these sacred lines and discover how to apply them in our modern world. 3 steps to avoid the wrong path. Blessed is the man who has not followed the counsel of the wicked, nor stood in the way of sinners, nor sat in the company of scorners. Tehillim 1:1. The first verse of the psalm paints a striking picture of gradual immersion into an incorrect way of life through 3 sequential actions. Not following the counsel of the wicked, the first step toward downfall begins with accepting wrong advice from people with distorted values. Not standing in the way of sinners, the second stage of immersion, when a person is physically among those who violate moral laws. Not sitting in the company of scorners, the final stage, when a person comfortably settles among those who mock virtue and holiness. Notice the progression. First walking, following, then stopping, standing, and finally sitting. Increasingly stable positions. Psalm 1's secret wisdom lies in understanding that our environment shapes us imperceptibly but inevitably. The source of strength, power of daily meditation. But his desire in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. Tehillim 1:2. The second verse reveals that it's not enough to simply avoid bad influences. For true prosperity, an active pursuit of wisdom and knowledge is necessary. Notice 2 key elements: desire for Torah, an inner attraction, a sincere desire to understand the higher laws of existence. Constant meditation, not just superficial reading, but deep reflection on these principles, day and night. In modern language, this is a call to a mindful way of life, based on continuous learning and reflection on values that truly matter. Result of the right choice, prospering like a tree. He shall be as a tree planted beside rivulets of water, which brings forth its fruit in its season, and its leaves do not wilt. And whatever he does prospers. Tehillim 1:3. Here's a remarkable image of a person living a righteous life, a mighty tree by a water source. This image reveals 4 qualities of such a life. Stability, roots deeply grounded, just as a person stands firmly on their principles. Productivity, bears fruit in its season, meaning achieving results naturally and timely. Resilience, leaves do not wilt even in difficult times. Success, prospers in whatever he does, achieving goals in various areas of life. Note that prosperity here is connected not to material wealth, but to inner strength and resilience. This is one of the most profound aspects of Psalm 1's secret approach to success. Fate of the unrighteous, the striking contrast. Not so the wicked, but they are like chaff that the wind drives away. Tehillim 1:4. The contrast is striking. Instead of a strong tree, light chaff, grain husks that the slightest wind carries away. This is a metaphor for an empty life without an inner core, without deep roots in true values. Therefore, the wicked shall not stand up in judgment, nor shall the sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Tehillim 1:5. This speaks of the inevitable separation of paths. In critical moments of judgment, be it life's trials or final reward, the true essence of a person and their choices is revealed. Knowledge of paths, the final revelation. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked shall perish. Tehillim 1:6. The final verse contains deep consolation and warning. The righteous path is known. The Almighty sees, knows, and supports those who follow the right path, even when no one else notices. The path of the wicked will disappear. Ultimately, unrighteous paths lead nowhere and are doomed to disappear. Practical application of Psalm 1's secret wisdom. How can we apply this wisdom in our daily lives? Consciously choose your environment. The psalm begins with this, emphasizing the importance of the people with whom we spend time. Invest in deep knowledge. Regularly dedicate time to reading and reflecting on sources of wisdom that expand your understanding of life. Develop inner stability. Like a tree by water, find your source of strength and regularly nourish yourself from it. Evaluate results long-term. True prosperity manifests over time, like a tree bearing fruit in its season. Remember the two paths. Every decision is a small step, either on the path of the righteous or on a path that will ultimately disappear. The first psalm is not just a poetic text, but a practical guide to life, offering a path to true well-being through right choices, continuous learning, and deep inner work. By understanding and applying Psalm 1's secret principles, we can navigate our modern world with ancient wisdom.